by number, and I have quite a few. They're all in various stages, completely undone, ones half done, and many completed ones. And that's all very well, but today I'm going to do something a bit different. I'm going to show you how you can create your own paint by number. This can be whatever picture you want, however big you want it to be, because it's your paint by number. But whatever it is, I'm going to take you through all the stages you need. And then at the end you can paint it or maybe give it to someone else as a gift. So let's get started. So the first step is to draw the outline of the image you want to create. You could do this by just drawing it freehand or tracing around a photo. You may want to simplify this if you're doing the photo option though, because you don't want individual bits of fur poking out if you're doing an animal. And we also need to start out lightly in pencil. The next step is to add the foreground of your image. And you'll need to make sure to make the things in the foreground bigger than those in the background. For example, if you were in a forest, the leaves in front might be even bigger than trees behind it. And if you're in a house, you might want to add some furniture. But either way, you need to make sure to do these things first because they're the first layer and the first thing you're going to see. And now it's time to add some more detail to the main focus of your image. This includes the eyes, nose, mouth, ears, just the basic features. Still not adding the most detail yet. You'll need to think about if it's interacting with its surroundings, which parts of it are in front and which are behind, and also what expression's going to be on its face. Just take all that into account when you're drawing it, but we're still not adding all the different textures on it though. And now for the background. Just remember, the foreground will be a bit more detailed from the background. So if your background is basic, that's fine, because we can always add some extra light and shadow later to liven it up a bit. We're basically doing the same thing as the main focus, just the basic lines first. Oh, not actually adding the colour to the picture, just experimenting with it first, because the person who's completing the paint by number is going to add the colour. But before you dive into any of that, first you need to decide what colours you actually want to use. First you need to decide what colours you actually want to use. Obviously the colour of the main thing you're going to be using, but then you might also want to use some coordinating colours for the background. And coordinating colours are basically colours that work really well together because they're opposite each other on the colour wheel. For example, red and green. But here's a chart that shows all the different combinations. This one uses blue and orange. And now obviously, since this is a paint by number, we actually need to give our colours numbers. But you don't need to give each individual shade a number. For example, if you mixed orange with black to create a different colour, you can just write the number for orange and the number for black, like a fraction. And almost at the final stages, you need to add the light and shadow to your picture. Think about which side the light's coming from. For example, all of your shadows might be on the right. And think of where things overlap other things. Referring back to your photo or picture or imagination, it's now time to add the detailed outlines of each section. This part of it can be a little bit tricky, so you might want to look at lots of different images of paint by numbers on the internet. Now here you need to note that you don't go over the lines in any sort of black pen or do any heavy pencil outlines or anything like that. Because if you're doing white, then you'll still be able to see the numbers in the outlines underneath, and you want it to be as smooth as possible. The colours just create the shadows and stuff. Paint it. This looks amazing now that it's done. As you can see, it's not the same colours as the photo, but that's not bad at all. Because as you can see, I've exaggerated the eye colours, which I think makes them look even cuter and stand out from the rest of it. So I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like, it only takes a second and it really helps promote the video. And I'll see you next time. Bye!